Good morning. My name is Sean Polson, and I'm the International President of the IAEI, and it's my sincere honor to be here today and chairing this inaugural annual business meeting of the IAEI. I want to welcome those that are in the room here at the International Office in Dallas, as well as those that are participating online. So for our agenda today, we're going to receive an International Secretary's report from David Clemens. I'll provide an International President's report. We'll have a Finance Committee report update from Mike Hofkin, a Nominating Committee report from Greg Taylor, and then a report from our CEO, Mr. David Clemens. So first off, if you have any questions on any of the reports, please save them till the end of the meeting, and then you can type them into the chat box through the webinar or through the YouTube channel. So to start off with, we'll have the International Secretary report from David Clemens. Dave?
Good morning, and welcome to our first IAEI annual meeting since the adoption of our restated and amended International Association of Electrical Inspectors bylaws. Mr. Chairperson, in compliance with the International Association of Electrical Inspector bylaws dated April the 15th, 2019, under Section 2.2, Annual Business Meeting, notice of the annual meeting, a meeting agenda, was hereby given to the corporation membership via email, social media, and posted on our IAEI website on October the 1st and on October the 17th, 2019. Mr. Chairperson, there are currently no actions that requires a vote by the corporation membership at this meeting. Since no transactions of business is required at this meeting, the corporation is in compliance with Section 2.6, quorum in the matter of acting.
Thank you, David. So next up is my report as the International President. And there's a few items that I want to make you aware of that the Board of Directors have been involved with over the past year. And the first one is the Facilities Task Group. And as you know, the International Office went through a major renovation last year. And thanks to many great donors, both individually, from the sections, chapters, divisions, from our membership, and also from the corporations, who all believe very strongly in IAEI and the work that we do. So the renovations to the building have been completed, and they were completed last year on time and on budget, thanks to David and the International Office staff. And if you ever had a chance to visit the International Office before, I can say that you wouldn't recognize one part of the building, except maybe the exterior. So the board has agreed to develop a policy that requires 2 signatures on any section, chapter, and division bank accounts, and to include on the section, chapter, and division audit report form a space to include the names, the contact information, and the signatures on those accounts. So this will ensure redundancy should one person happen to leave our association. So the International Office staff was tasked to draft a policy for review by the Governance Committee and to update the audit report form once the policy has been approved by the board. Looking at our restated and amended certificate of formation, at our November 2017 meeting, the board approved the amended certificate of formation, previously known as the Articles of Incorporation. This was in order to meet the current requirements of the Texas Business Organizations Code. So in order to go into effect, the certificate of formation required member approval as per the current Articles of Incorporation. So during the fall 2018 section meetings, inspector members voted on the changes, and all 6 sections received the required 2/3 approval votes from the inspector members. So the CEO has submitted the required information to our attorney, who's filed the certificate with the state of Texas. So we have a number of governance and operational committees that are permanent and standing at the international board level. Some of them that I'd like to make you aware of is our governance committee. We also have a nominating committee. We have a finance and committee, an audit committee, a codes and standards and technical appointments review committee, an education certification committee, a membership committee, and finally a governance documents review committee. So the committees have been extremely busy over the last year, updating policies, drafting new policies that are needed by our association to move us into the next phase. Other activities of the International Board over the last year includes a review of the international bylaws and the model bylaws for the sections, chapters, and divisions, and these were all approved earlier this year. The board also approved a policy on appointments to technical committees. So one major change that was approved by the board over the last year was in the International Board makeup. And the board recently approved the process, the criteria, and the terms of office procedures for the new board of directors. So the final makeup of the International Board of Directors will consist of 15 members, plus the IAEI president, CEO as a non-voting member. And these members can be identified into 5 general categories. We have section elected directors, so one director from each section for a total of 6. We'll have 2 at-large enforcer directors and 2 at-large non-enforcer directors. We'll have an at-large secretary directors for 2, and then we'll have 3 at-large special expertise directors. So the board identified that a transition board is needed to start at the start to ensure that we have continuity going forward. So for the transition International Board of Directors, starting this year or in the year 2019-2020, the 3 at-large special expertise and 1 of the at-large enforcer or at-large non-enforcer positions will be filled by the section secretaries for the initial term only. Then 1 section secretary will be replaced in each of the following years by the applicable at-large director representative, until all 4 of the positions have been filled by the final structure identified at-large director. So board diversity is something that many boards are currently looking into or are implementing, and those that are implementing are seeing great results. So our time is now. So as you can see, we're making many changes to the IAEI to continue our relevance into the 21st century. However, we need to continue to make sure that the electrical inspector is also relevant into the 21st century. With rapid advancement of innovation in the electrical field and new areas of technology, we need to ensure that the electrical safety of the consumers and the workforce continues. So with new areas such as functional safety, cybersecurity, interoperability, robotics, and artificial intelligence, either already here or making their way into our realms, it's important that the electrical inspector be prepared to address these areas as they eventually become regulated. It's also important and critical for a close and active collaboration with industry, with codes and standards developers, and testing, inspection, and certification organizations to keep up with the advancing technology. So as we can see, there's many changes that have either been implemented or will be implemented to make our association stronger and to make our board more diverse. We'll see many positive outcomes of the changes in our governance structure, in our membership, that will ensure our relevance into the future. So in closing, I want to thank the International Office staff for all the work that they do. I also want to recognize the members of our sections, chapters, and divisions for all that you do for the IAEI. And thanks again for having me as your 2018-2019 International President. And keep up the great work for and everything that you do for the IAEI and to keeping us all safe. Thank you very much. So the next item that we have on our agenda is the Finance Committee report from Mike Hofkin. Mike?
Thank you, Mr. President. Good morning. Michael Hofkin, Chair of the Finance Committee. It's my pleasure to report that the IAEI is financially sound and we are operating in the black. At the 2018 board meeting, the Board of Directors reviewed and approved the 2017 audit, and that's been submitted and will eventually be posted on our website. At this year's board meeting, the Board of Directors will be reviewing our 2018 audit. I am pleased to report that we've seen the audit and that there are no discrepancies in our 2018 finances at all. The audit itself, which does include our financial statements, will be posted on the website, and IAEI members will have access to that by logging in, and you'll be able to review the audit for yourself. This is, after all, your money. I can also report that our sections, chapters, and divisions are financially sound. We have received a great many of their financial reports for this year and audits, and everything seems to be in order. We're still waiting on a few of those reports to come in. We expect them shortly. Our Finance Committee does review the finances of the association on a monthly basis. We get a report from CEO Dave Clements, and our task is to monitor those finances and make sure that they're operating properly financially, that we're staying within the budget, that expenditures are not going out the door that shouldn't be, and we will continue that work into the following year. Mr. President, that ends my report.
Thanks, Michael. So next up, we'll have a nominating committee report from Mr. Greg Taylor. Greg?
Good morning. The International Nominating Committee is a new committee that was formed to receive and qualify and then present to the membership nominations for the open director positions on the International Board. The nominating committee is made up of one representative from each section. We have President Sean Paulson, who represents the Canadian section, Milford Batters from the Eastern section, David Williams from the Western section, Rick Hollander, Southwestern section, Jeff Fitzloff from the Northwestern section, and then myself as chairman represents the Southern section. All nominating committee members serve a term of 1 year, subject to be reappointed by the new chairman of the board. The International Nominating Committee did not officially convene this year because of the development of the new documents involved with the creation of the new board that's being designed. We did, however, discuss and pass two critical documents. One was the criteria for the selection of the new board of directors, and the other was the process for the election. Those were both adopted August the 7th of this year, and also at that time the board worked out the agreement to transition from an 18-member board down to a 15-member board, which will begin shortly after this meeting. So the new process will work like this. Announcements will be sent out to all members on or about April 1st of 2020 and every year thereafter. And it will describe any open board positions and also any qualifications for those positions. So some years will be for an enforcer member only. Maybe some years will be for a non-enforcer member, and maybe other years may be for both or someone with special expertise. But those will be explained in the announcements. The 2020 Nominating Committee will then begin accepting applications. We'll review and qualify and contact all those who are nominated. All of our nominations need to be submitted no later than June 1st so that the nominating committee can qualify and present a slate of qualified nominations to the members no later than July 1st for consideration. Ballots will be sent out to all the members, and the election for the at-large representatives will be tallied during next year's annual member meeting. So that's a short version of how this new process will work. Anybody who is interested in serving on the board should apply. We're looking forward to getting some qualified candidates for this board of directors that will help take this board to the next step and help lead this organization. Mr. President, that is the end of my report.
Okay, thank you, Greg. So next up, we'll have a report from our CEO, Mr. David Clemens. David?
Thank you, Mr. President, and good morning, everyone. Today, I'm very excited to give you an update on some of the major accomplishments that the association completed in 2019 to align with our strategic plan, Vision 2021. As you're aware, as the President mentioned, there's been some major accomplishments with regards to the governance of the association, and I commend the board of directors over the past several years with regards to these changes. We've been established since 1928, and these are major changes to the association with regards to how we govern the association, and the board moving away from an operational board to a policy board. The approval of the new international bylaws took place in April 15th of 2019. The reason for the change to the bylaws being restated and amended is to conform with the requirements under Texas business law. Our bylaws were outdated and a number of new articles were introduced to allow the board to become more efficient and effective in the way that we conduct business for the association. In addition to that, model bylaws were developed and are being rolled out to our sections, chapters, and divisions to align with the international bylaws. And that process is ongoing as we speak. We have received a number of new bylaws coming in from our sections, chapters, and divisions. And our secretaries have been, in our governance committee, have been very busy reviewing those particular bylaws so that they can be approved by the board and then being sent back out to our sections, chapters, and divisions. In addition to that, during our survey and going through our strategic planning process, our members told us that the association, by virtue of our name, appears to be a closed organization only for inspectors only. And the feedback that we received from our members and our industry partners indicated that we had to have a more inclusive membership structure. And the board approved a new structure which now includes professional members. So the categories that we had with regards to inspectors and associate members are no longer in effect. We have now professional members, and we also have different categories under that professional membership category. With that, it allows our members to have more of a say in the organization. It allows our members to be able to participate and have a voice at all levels throughout the organization, and in addition to that, be able to vote. This is a major change to the organization, and one that has been positive. We received positive comments when we attended this year's section meetings. In addition to that, we had growth with the expansion of new and international chapters. And this is something that has been a focus of the association for some time. We are an international association. And I'm pleased to announce the opening of a new chapter in South America, in Colombia, located in Bogota. And we are now in the process of working with individuals in Colombia to open up a second chapter, which we call the Colombian Caribbean or Caribbean chapter, and that will be located again in northern Colombia. And we are in the process of working with them now to draft bylaws, and we're very encouraged. This is a very exciting time for us with regards to the expansion, in not just in Canada and the US, but outside of those particular boundaries. As mentioned, with regards to the governance update, approval of the new international bylaws and the model bylaws have taken place. The bylaws were adopted originally back in 2018. They were revised to reflect the transition plan that's being put in place with regards to transitioning from the current board to the new board. That has been completed, and as our president mentioned, after this meeting, the board would convene its annual meeting. After that meeting, there will be a special meeting called with regards to moving forward with the new transition board. Also, because of the bylaw changes, we've had a number of policies that were outdated that need to be revised. In addition to that, a number of new policies developed. And the board and the committee has been very much involved in the development, and staff in the development of those particular policies. And a number of those policies have been approved and are still being worked on. With regards to the sections, chapters, and divisions, the board of directors approved the new model bylaws in March of 2019. And this is, again, another major accomplishment for the organization. This is something whereby their sections, chapters, and division bylaws were again outdated. They didn't mirror the international bylaws, and we commend the secretaries and the boards at all levels throughout the organization in getting their bylaws reviewed in a timely manner, and so that we can all be in compliance. And this is very important because of the new membership structure, because many of the bylaws that are out there currently at our sections, chapters, and division actually reflects the old membership structure. Back in 2016, we conducted a membership survey, and the board has decided that we need to conduct a survey every 3 years with regards to getting feedback from our members and also benchmarking how we are doing as an association. The 2016 survey compared to the 2019 survey, we actually saw very little change, which in fact is very positive. We had an excellent response rate whereby over 25% of those filled out the survey. That's an excellent response rate. And 98% overall are satisfied with their membership. 77% are very or extremely likely to recommend IAEI to another member, or to another individual, I should say, and 75% satisfied and very satisfied with their chapter and division. 89% reported a very positive international office customer experience. I'm very pleased with that particular stat. Staff has been working very hard to accommodate our members when they call in, and also to support our sections, chapters, and divisions. What's not surprising is that word of mouth is still the highest reported reasons why members join the association. Over 60% of those that responded indicated that they have invited a colleague to attend an IAEI meeting, and that is extremely important. Word of mouth is the best advertising for IAEI to get people to join the association and to talk about the benefits that the association provides. Under our strategic plan, one of the goals was to increase our advocacy and our outreach. And I'm pleased to announce that in 2019, we stepped up. We have attended a number of different conferences, the NFPA conference, ICC, IEEE, IEC, IAEI chapters and divisions, and that gives us great exposure and branding of the association at different, and looking at different target audiences. In addition to that, we've increased our exposure in the electrical industry by contributing to articles in other publications and magazines. In one in particular was EC&M, and we, on a regular basis, provide articles about the perspective of the inspector in those particular magazines. In addition to that, under advocacy and outreach, for a number of years we've actually been involved in the development and helping in the development of codes and standards. And I'm pleased to announce that we have over 70 members representing IAEI in the development of electrical technical standards. We have members that participate on the National Electrical Code, but in addition to that, we have individuals that participate on the Canadian Electrical Code and other technical standards. These individuals spend a tremendous amount of time, volunteer hours, with regards to providing their expertise in the development of these particular standards that make our communities much safer. And my hat goes out to those individuals who represent IAEI. They are our subject matter experts, and they deserve a pat on the back for the contribution that they make towards making our communities safer and to prevent fire and shock hazards. In addition to that, our advocacy and our outreach, we have expanded it, our outreach. Recently, we participated in an international electrical safety conference that was held in Colombia. Actually, our membership director attended that meeting, talked about the inspection process that is in the US, but in addition to that, promoted IAEI at that meeting, and we were very excited with regards to the feedback that we received. Great opportunity for training and membership in Colombia. So we are working hard, working with those new chapters that are being developed in the existing chapter that has been just developed in making that happen. As you're aware, IAEI does a lot with regards to education. And you probably are very much aware that NEC in September released the NEC 2020 edition. What we do with regards to the 2020 edition, we produce analysis of changes with regards to the major changes. Our education department, along with our representatives that sit on these particular NEC code panels, have participated in the development of the analysis of changes. This, in our opinion, is the most authoritative change book that's out there on the market, mainly because it's being developed by the subject matter experts that actually are involved in the development of those particular standards. And in addition to that, NFPA has reviewed the document to ensure it did comply with those particular new changes that were adopted in the 2020 code. In addition to that, we have a number of other publications based on previous editions of the National Electrical Code, the 2017, and also we are in the process of updating a lot of our publications based on the 2020 changes. We also recognize that we have to expand our education, and we have done that in a number of different areas. In particular, we have expanded our on-site client training. With our new facility, we've actually hosted training here in our training room. In addition to that, we have expanded internationally. We have done training in Canada on the Canadian Electrical Code, and also we had individuals come from the Bahamas, actually to the Dallas area, where we have provided training. We have increased our partnerships with our industry partners on branding the association and also getting the word out there with regards to different requirements under the codes. We have partnered with Hubble, Levington, and Eaton Busman recently, and will continue to do so working with our industry partners. We have also increased our online course portfolio through our online trainer PACE. We now have the 2017 NEC courses on the changes. We also have courses designed on the 1 and 2 family dwelling, and now we'll be moving into changes with regards to 2020 and working with our partner PACE on getting that online, and hopefully within the next year we'll see the new update. In addition to that, we have been participating with a number of different organizations on grants. This is something that's not unusual. We have been working with Interstate Renewable Electrical Council for the past 5 years on a number of different grants, but I'm also pleased to announce that in this past several months, we have been working with Interstate Renewable Electrical Council, the Sustainable Energy Action Council, and the Solar Foundation on a number of different grant applications related to renewable energy, and we're hoping to hear from DOE within the next month to find out if those grants have been accepted. As our president mentioned, we have completed a $1 million renovation. This renovation was done, as our president mentioned, on time and on budget, and I want to commend all of our donors, our industry partners, our sections, chapters, and divisions, and the individuals that contributed to our capital campaign. Without your help, it would not have been possible. The building is been a major change, as our president has mentioned. And back in 2018, during our board meeting, we were fortunate enough to have a lot of our industry partners attend the official opening. And as you can see there is a picture of some of those dignitaries that attended the ribbon cutting ceremony. In addition to that, what we heard from our members is that we had to do a better job staying in touch with our members and the use of social media. And so if you're not aware, we have a Facebook account, we have a LinkedIn account, we have a YouTube account. Some of you may be actually participating in this meeting through YouTube today. And we also have an Instagram account. But in addition to that, we issue weekly update newsletter and a monthly member newsletter to keep you informed with regards to what is taking place within the organization. But in addition to that, we're very excited with regards to our mobile app. We have recently received an award from the American Publication and Digital Award of Silver for the usability of our app. We received that award in 2019. Kudos goes out to the staff for the work that they have done working with our provider on making this app possible. This is a great opportunity to expand our outreach to our members and to our industry with regards to the usability and having the ability to use that app to get into their member profile, to know what's taking place within the organization, and also have the ability to view the IAEI magazine. So with that, I want to take this opportunity for all of our members and our industry partners for their support and dedication towards electrical safety. And we appreciate your contribution that you make, and get the word out there with regards to the importance of what IAEI does to promote electrical safety. Thank you very much.
Thank you, David. So as you can see, we have many great initiatives going on to make our association stronger. And our board of directors will actually be meeting over the next 2 days, in which case we'll be looking at other new initiatives, other new policies, again, to bring us the association into the next century. So the next item that we had on the agenda was new business, which we don't have any that was brought forward. So now I would like to entertain any general questions from those that are in the room or those that are online. Again, for those online, if you could type your questions into the chat section of the webinar or the YouTube channel. So do we have any questions from the room? Not seeing any. And do we have any online? We don't have any.